How's it going, y'all? This is Mike with Kingdom Life, uh, coming in with another good subject today. Hopefully, everybody's doing well in their life. Pray that y'all are doing good. And today, I wanted to touch base on a topic that I think is taken in all kind of different directions, and it is about understanding what love is. Understanding what love is. Um, this is one of those topics that, from upbringing to what we see on TV, what we see on the movies, what we all thought what love is pretty much breaking that down. And we're really talking about more of what love is not. Because once you know what love is not, then you know what love really is. Um, so we'll say that most couples say that they're marrying, right? Because they love, their fiance. Um, that's why people get married. They say, I love you. Will you marry me? And then the persons who receiving the question, they never ask, what do you mean when you say you love me? Because why? They're so excited, and they get caught up in the thing, and the yes just comes out automatically. When someone says they love you, you should stop and say, what do you mean when you say you love me? To most of the world, love means sex. So they'll say, if you don't have love, then you can make some, right? But see, the thing is, you can't make love. There's no such thing as making love. But we have come up in our culture saying that based on what we heard. Because we got all this stuff really from movies and shows, right? That's really what we got this logic from. And people just pass it down as some actual, like it's real logic. But you can't make love even though we say that. So we're going to talking about what love is not. What love is not. But the first problem with defining love starts in our English language. Because our English language is very limited. Our language is very limited. Our English language, to be used the same words for different meanings. So, for example, if I say, give me some bread, you're not sure if I mean money or the bread that we eat, right? Because of what we done use that term to also mean for something else. So, because of how we are with the English language, then love also have different meanings of what we created it from the English language. So, for example, you say, I love my guinea pig, right? I love ice cream. Then you go, I love my wife. So what I just said was that I love my wife just like a guinea pig. See, because we're using the same word love for everything. So the love for a pig can't be the same love you should have for your wife. But we use that same word, which is love. So that's why we had to go into the Greek language. In the Greek language, they actually have 4 different words that all mean different things, that all describes a type of love. And this is what the English language doesn't have. So this is part of the Greek language. And it's the more correct language for the 4 different types of love. So the 4 different types of love is phileo, that's the first one. The second one is eros. Okay. The third one is sterigo. And the fourth one is agape. Okay. And so we're going to get into talking about phileo first. Okay. So phileo is the love between friends, like a friendship love, just a casual friend. So, like we may tell our friend, I love you, but you wouldn't say that in Greek, right? Because we're talking about the Greek language here with these words. So you would say, I phileo you, because it's a friendship. You know what I mean? It's a friendship love. See what I'm saying? So instead of saying, oh, that's my friend right there, man. I love that guy. See, we be using that word wrong. You'll say, I phileo that guy. And when you say this into Greek people, they will understand, okay, this ain't no marriage love. This ain't no, nothing else. They understand that word. Just saying our English language, we never heard none of this stuff because we use love as for everything, and we shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so filial is about friendship. It has to do with favor, and it also has to do with attraction and relations. Okay, Sterigo. Sterigo is the relationship love between family, relatives, right? Love between children and parents. So when you say to your parents, "I love you," you see, I mean that's how we say it now in our English language, right? We say, "I love you" to our parents, but think about it. You don't love your parents like you love your wife. You don't love your parents like you love your husband. As for the women that's listening. So stereo is love that's just on biological purposes, right? So that's why we tell our friends more secrets than our family because it's a different type of love. Okay, that's stereo. Okay, so now we're gonna go to eros, and eros has to do with sensual attraction. Eros has to do with sensual attraction. So love between male and female. So this is a sexual interaction. Also means loving, longing, craving, desiring. So this love right here is actually the key to the problems in society right here. This love here. Because we misconstrue this love here. And when you do some research, come to find out that Eros is actually a Greek god of sex. So they used to worship this god, Eros, by going to the temple back in the Old Testament and having sex on the altar. Okay? And believe it or not, this god Eros is still here today in our time. Every bookstore, right? Every video store, sex movies, So like when people break up over sex, it stems from Eros. We compare sex to love. And love has nothing to do with sex. See, that's just the way of our culture been teaching us, and we automatically assume that. But love has nothing to do with sex. So, the last word the Greeks use, it is a real word called agape. Okay? Agape is a word created to describe the love of God. So that's the kind of love that God gives to us. Remember, Jesus died on the cross for all sinners, right? He died for all of us, or everybody that been born from before him to the end of this world. He died for everybody. See, that's agape love, right? Unconditionally, no reasons. Even though we didn't deserve him to die for us, he still chose to. He made a decision to. That's agape, okay? So this love is a love that describes a generous move of one for the sake of the other. So you can't experience this love though without God. Okay? All the other loves you can experience without God except for agape love. Okay? Because God is agape. Okay? God agape us first. God agape us first. So this love comes from God. That's what he is. He is agape. So now we know that the relationship between friends, right, is not agape. Relationship between relatives is not agape. Relationship between sexual partners is not agape. Okay? So we're gonna go back talking about filial, okay? Because we want to get on the loves that are not the word love that we've been using for these words, which are really not love. So filial is a love that is based on looks, based on personality, based on compatibility, based on expectation and conditions. So this is a dangerous list, okay? So it's like when two people become friends, right? They feel obligated to one another, and that actually creates a problem. So it's based on liking each other. Even if you don't like each other, then you really want friends. So it's based on liking each other. And then if you don't even like the person, you won't even consider to be friends with them, right? So that's why this love is actually kind of sick, because it's based on reasons and conditions, right? And reasons and conditions can always change. So, and most of us actually get married from filial, right? Based on like looks, compatibility, expectations, and conditions. Okay, so moving on to stereo. So stereo is about the feeling affection for parents and family. Okay, like feeling affection for your mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, grandparents, aunts, uncles. It's a relational affection by being related. Okay, that's stereo, and it's also based on a reason and obligation. Like for example, let's say my brother has a flat tire, and I'm driving down the road, and I see him, and I stop to help him. The only reason I'm stopping is because I feel obligated, because that's my brother. We came up together, or whatever the situation was in the household. I know that's my brother. And I don't even like fixing tires, and I don't really want to stop. And I'm late to actually where I gotta go, but I feel like I gotta stop, because why? That's my brother. So if I don't stop and I keep going and he see me keep going, it might be an issue later. We're gonna have to have a talk. He gonna want to have a talk with me, because why? He expected me to stop too, because we brothers. See, that's an obligation, and that's when things are dangerous, based on reasons, conditions, and obligations. That's not love. That's just obligation. But we consider that love. But see, that's the misconception about this whole thing. Okay? So actually, a lot of people get married like that. So we say things like, the only reason I'm cooking for you is because you're my wife. That's not love. That's obligation. Or wives ironing your shirt only because they feel obligated to do it, but not because they really love you. Okay? So that was stereo. Okay? So now we're going to talk about the eros love, which is the biggest problem out of all these different concepts of the word love, right? Eros is the big problem, because eros is sensual. Okay? It has to do with senses. It is 100% flesh, 100% emotion, 100% feelings, 100% selfish, and it's 100% conditional, based on chemicals. Eros is based on chemicals in your body. So it's filled with desires, and it's unreasonable. It doesn't care who it hurts or how many people will be destroyed. It wants to satisfy itself. It is a love that we call love. It's based on pleasure, self-pleasure, love that is unstable, love that is always me orientated. See, it is a love that is unspiritual. So when people say, if you love me, you will let me, see, that describes this eros love that I'm talking about. So really how they saying it is this: if you eros me, you will let me. See what I'm saying? So eros is sensual. So let's look at the senses here, right? We have eyes, hearing, your sight, your taste, your smell, your touch. Okay? It's dangerous because we confuse chemical reactions with love, right? Because like anybody can actually stimulate your chemicals in your body, right? When somebody touches your hand, right, and rubbed it real smooth, right, certain chemicals in your body starts to trigger certain hormones, like touch, sight, sound, smell, right? It causes these hormones to release that chemical to high degrees. And if you're not careful, it will cause you to emote, okay? The word emote means to move, okay? So if someone stimulates you to a point you have to move, you're in trouble now, right? Your body moving because of how they touching you or feeling you, right? So feelings and emotions are really the same thing. And it comes actually from your thoughts. So if you want to control your emotions, you have to control our thinking. So if I said, right, there's a snake slithering around your back right now, and it's moving around, the scales are sliding across your skin, and now it's sliding down towards your leg, right? You'll start to sense that based on your thoughts of what I'm saying. Those thoughts, right, trigger the chemicals in your body, which makes your body change. That's what is called emoting. Okay? So eros has nothing to do with love. It's just chemical reactions that causes you to emote, which is the move, right? And feelings, right? So when someone say love is a feeling, that's a bad sign. We shouldn't say that. And if we are saying that, we need to stop saying that starting today, because love is not a feeling. See what I'm saying? So that's part of the eros. Okay, it's part of eros. Pure love doesn't have feelings. Okay, it is always wanting to fulfill its desires. That's what eros is. It's selfish. It's conditional. It's chemical. It is unreasonable. So if you get married because you want sex, you are in trouble, because sex is nothing but a flesh experience. Sex has nothing to do with the spiritual side of us. And remember, we are spirits in a body. So sex has nothing to do with spirits. Spirits don't have sex. Okay? So sex is pretty much like animal behavior. Anything that God created on earth with a body, as far as what we got, what animals have, we all share the same behavior. Just like animals, like two dogs, right? Having sex, we have the same senses when it comes to that part. And all you want is that feeling. See, that's why it becomes unstable, because you start to let that be your number one prerogative. You just want that feeling. So sex is just an appetite, right? A chemical reaction. So we shouldn't call sex love, because your marriage would just go up and down based on if you went into it thinking of just having free sex. So that's why I got married. Because once sex is over, then when you were so high about it because you had that chemical reaction, that feeling, and it's over, the sex is over. Now you're down about your marriage, and it's kind of like, oh, this is boring. This is that. See? So sex is not love. Okay? Sex is one of the ways you can express love. Okay? But it is not love. Right? It's not love itself. So what is love? Love is the decision to meet someone's need for the rest of their life. And it's not based on no conditions or no reasons. That's what love is. Love is a decision to meet someone else's needs for the rest of their life. Your decision, not based on how they look, not based on how good they smell, not based on what they can do for you, not based on what they can provide for you. It's not based on none of that. It's your decision to want to meet their needs for the rest of their life. That's what love is. That's what love means. So if we were based, like I asked my wife, once I learned this, y'all, because I didn't always know this neither. But once I understood this and applied this and told my wife and explained it to her, our relationship of our marriage skyrocketed because of this information. Because I used to have reasons too of why I love her. I had reasons of saying like she's hardworking, and she's ambitious, she's pretty, I like her body, right? We have these reasons, but don't you know what happens in 10 years when her looks start to change, right? Or when her body start to change after having children? How you feel then? Or now you out of love for her because now those reasons have changed? See, that's why you can't love nobody based off on a reason, because reasons and conditions can always change. You can say, oh, I love this person because they're so kind. So what happens when they're not kind no more? See, that's what happens and what leads to divorce, because you get disappointed. from their behavior changing, because this is the reason why you fell in love with them. But see, agape love is an unconditional love. Like I said, that love comes from God. He loves us unconditionally. So we have to have that same thing with our spouses. Your husband and wife, you love each other unconditionally. No reasons, no conditions. Because when you have a reason and condition, it's not going to last long. You're going to have a lot of fights, and there's going to be a lot of disappointment. And I have this tree of how I have it, how each thing leads to each thing. So you start off at reasons, right? Loving this person for reasons. And then what happened? The reasons becomes conditions. And once they become conditions, then the conditions become expectations. Once the conditions become expectations, right? Because you're expecting this person to keep this going. You're expecting this man to keep making this certain money. See what I'm saying? And once the expectations are not there no more, now that it becomes disappointment. And once it becomes disappointment, because now you're looking like, oh, you're not doing none of the things that I had fell in love with you about no more. Cause see, so now when you disappointment, what do you think that leads to? It leads to division. Now y'all don't like each other. Now it's not no one no more. Constantly battling, constantly going at each other, heads all the time. See, it's division now. And after division, what comes after division is divorce. If you think about it, even for myself, when I look at the past in my life and relationships, I went through these things. I went through these same things and didn't even know. Because why? I was basing my relationship off of reasons, conditions, expectations. And that's what we shouldn't do. That's not love. That's not what real true love is. See? That's why I want to give a definitions of those other loves of phileo, eros, stereo, and then agape, which is the divine love. That's the love that we're supposed to have, the agape love. You love your spouse, love that significant other unconditionally. You make a decision to want to take care of them, to want to be there for them, regardless of how they act, regardless of how they change, regardless of how their looks may change, regardless of what they may not be providing no more for as a certain amount of money that they make from a job. See what I'm saying? But if you think about it, most of us all broke off relationships based off conditions. We broke off a lot of our relationships, or all of them, off of conditions. You have to be honest with yourself and look back at that. And you will see yourself in that. And if you're currently in a marriage now, I would say definitely, retrain yourself into saying to your spouse now, say, you know what? I love you just because I made that decision. It ain't based on how you look no more. It's not based on what your body size is, what your body type is, not based on how long your hair is, not based on your job, not based on the car you had, not based on what you told me what we would have been as a family. See, all those are conditions. Say, hey, I'm with you because I made a decision to want to take care of you for the rest of your life. And it's just simple as that. Because that other person can always change. And the list that you had for them for as the reasons when you met them, when they change, then you change for as how you feel towards them. And that's not true love. See? Your love is basing your love on reasons and feelings. And love is not a feeling. It's not a feeling. And trust me, man, like when I adopt this, and that's how I am now in my marriage, and my wife is the same way now. And I always quiz her. I say, hey, what's the reason? Why the reason you love me? And before she knew this, she would say, because you this, you're ambitious, and you hard working, right? And you're handsome, you look good. All these things, all these good things. See? But what happens if I don't be those things no more? And I asked her that. I said, what happens if I don't be hard working one day? What happens if that happens to me and I don't work hard no more? She actually paused for a few seconds because it was a question that nobody never really asked somebody, right? Especially about themselves to the person that they're with. And she said, well, she kind of hesitated. Well, I still love you. See, but it was like just an answer to say. You get what I'm saying? Because when I said that to her, the body was like, her mind was like, oh, you're not going to be the things that I fell in love about no more? See, automatically, disappointed. See, it turned straight into disappointment, just like that. And so after I explained what it supposed to be to her, and it blew her mind just like it did mine, right? And because it's a revelation, and we applied it, and now it became wisdom for us, because wisdom is supreme. Okay, so you have to apply it for it to become working for you in your situation. And now, man, I love for each other is so unconditional. That's why she can, you know, little things that, like me, I leave the dresser drawers open sometimes, right? And they used to burn her up, one of my little peeves. And she'll get on me about it. I'm getting better with that too. But she'll get on me about it before, and they used to be like, you weren't like this when I met you. See, it was a reason. It was based on conditions. Now you doing this thing now, and I don't really like it. And see, now it becomes what? It started becoming an expectation, then turn to a disappointment. And see, right there, disappointment, that's that shaky part, because after disappointment, it gonna turn into division. And when it becomes division, then it leads into divorce. You see what I'm saying? So that's the trail of how it goes from bad to worse. Reason, that's bad. Conditions, more bad, right? Then it gets to expectations, then it just start to climb into the worst part. Then you get the disappointment, you pretty much hitting that the least of worst, and then you get into the vision. Now you talking about you in that medium to high area of like it's about to really go sideways. It's about to really go sideways once y'all start to divide. You see what I'm saying? And then it just goes into divorce, because you already went through the division. You already felt separated. So, man, but hopefully y'all guys understood this. If not, leave something in the comments or whatever the case may be, or if you just want to have some feedback. I appreciate y'all guys tuning in to the videos, man. And to God get the glory, man. Not for me. And I'm just a messenger. I'm just a vessel being used for God. That's all. And till next time, y'all. Y'all guys take care. Be blessed. Stay stress free. I'll see y'all soon. Mike, Kingdom Life.